The underground metro station, a labyrinth of tunnels and platforms, was eerily quiet as I descended the steps into its dimly lit expanse. The usual hustle and bustle of commuters had faded into the night, leaving an unsettling silence that hung heavy in the air. I clutched my backpack tightly, the only soul in sight amidst the cavernous station. The overhead lights cast long, ominous shadows that danced across the tiled walls. The echo of my footsteps reverberated through the deserted corridors, each sound amplifying the sense of isolation. A chill crept up my spine, and I quickened my pace, eager to reach the safety of the train platform. As I rounded a corner, a flicker of movement caught my eye, a fleeting shadow that darted out of sight. I froze, heart pounding against my ribcage. The station seemed to hold its breath, an eerie stillness settling around me. Dismissing it as a trick of the mind, I pressed forward, my steps echoing in the desolate space. The platform loomed ahead, its eerie emptiness adding to the sense of unease that gnawed at my nerves. The flickering lights cast an otherworldly glow on the tracks below, adding an eerie ambiance to the scene. I scanned the area, finding no sign of life, no indication that anyone else shared this abandoned underground realm. A distant rumble reverberated through the tunnels, heralding the approach of an incoming train. Relief washed over me, the sound breaking the suffocating silence. But as the train drew nearer, the feeling of unease intensified, a nagging sensation that something was amiss. The train screeched to a halt, its doors hissing open with a mechanical sigh. I hesitated, a sense of foreboding settling in the pit of my stomach. The empty compartments yawned before me, each car cloaked in shadows that seemed to whisper secrets to the wind. I stepped inside, the doors closing behind me with a metallic clang. The interior was bathed in an eerie half-light, the windows smudged and obscured, offering no glimpse of the outside world. I chose a seat, my gaze darting nervously around the compartment. The train lurched forward, its wheels screeching against the tracks. I peered into the darkness beyond the windows, the rhythmic clatter of the train's motion filling the air. But there was something unnatural about the journey, an unsettling feeling that the train wasn't following its usual route. The flickering lights within the carriage cast unsettling shadows that seemed to dance to an unheard melody. Faces, distorted and ghostly, appeared and disappeared in the fleeting shadows. My breath hitched in my throat as I rubbed my eyes, trying to dispel the haunting visions. A sudden jolt threw me off balance, sending my backpack tumbling to the floor. I scrambled to retrieve it, my heart racing with a sense of impending doom. The train had come to an abrupt stop, shrouded in darkness, as if swallowed by the abyss. Panic clawed at my chest as I peered out the window into an impenetrable blackness, a darkness so profound that it seemed to devour all light. A cold sweat broke across my brow, my mind racing with fear-fueled thoughts. Then, a whispered melody floated through the air, a haunting tune that seemed to echo from the very depths of the tunnels. It was soft, hypnotic, and chilling, wrapping around me like a suffocating shroud. The hair on the back of my neck stood on end as the melody grew louder, filling the carriage with an otherworldly presence. I clamped my hands over my ears, trying to block out the haunting song, but it penetrated my mind, seeping into the depths of my consciousness. Shadows writhed and twisted, taking on sinister forms that lurked just beyond the edges of perception. With a sudden jolt, the lights in the carriage flickered and died, plunging me into pitch darkness. The haunting melody reached a crescendo, a cacophony of chilling notes that reverberated through my very being. And then, as suddenly as it had begun, the song ceased. The lights flickered back to life, revealing the familiar surroundings of the metro station. I stumbled out of the train, my heart pounding with terror. As I emerged onto the platform, the station was once again empty, the haunting experience leaving me shaken to the core. The memory of that chilling night in the depths of the metro station would forever linger, a journey into a realm where shadows danced to an unearthly tune, where the line between reality and the supernatural blurred in the eerie silence of the night.